Hey, what's going on, YouTube? On my way to work again. Can't wait for the day that I can retire. Maybe we'll get there one day. But this is a more health-related video. I think the market is just consolidating and we're waiting on some Trump tweet or post or some news from the Fed or Jerome Powell. But I'm gonna talk about health-related stuff. I've been having some weird interactions, some odd interactions at the gym lately. We had it good for a while at my gym, but gym bros and broccoli heads are starting to invade. And I've been there for well over a year, and this is the first day I felt compelled to go to staff and be a male Karen, because there's one douchebag with his backwards hat working on legs, and he would lift this thing. It only had 10 pounds on each side, so 20 pounds total, which is nothing for legs. And then he would drop it on purpose high from the ground, and it would make a bunch of racket. And I could hear this shit even through my earbuds with music playing. This place, clientele is mostly like older people, and I could tell he was disturbing the peace. So I went to the front desk like a little bitch instead of confronting him, because I don't want to escalate anything. And I told a female staff member, since she looks nice, like, yeah, there's this guy making a lot of racket. Is there any chance you could tell him to not make too much noise? Because that's most policies of gyms, correct? I mean, yeah, I could have been a douche and be like, hey bro, you better knock that shit off and get all alpha male on him, but I don't want to escalate. Yeah, I guess a true alpha male would have gotten in his face and puffed out his chest, but I'm too old for that shit. Hopefully these guys are just doing trial memberships and don't stick around, because I've seen a lot of guys come and go. I know the regulars by now, they're not regulars. And then a few days ago, one good part about my gym is it has a really good dry sauna, and the max capacity is 2 people. Very often you can get in there alone, but I don't mind sharing it with someone. I was in there the other day, and I was in there for a few minutes trying to get my sauna action like the Nordic do, because it boosts your immune system and stuff like that. They say 15 minutes in the sauna, or as much as you can tolerate, maybe up to 25 minutes. If you do that often, it's very good for you. There's definitely something to that. But yeah, I'm in there for a few minutes, and then this guy comes in and he freaking comes butt naked, flopping around, and he sits next to me, and I'm like, God Jesus, here we go. And I mean, obviously I'm a dude, I've been in the army, I've seen that shit. I'm Korean. Koreans are notorious for going to jjimjilbangs and the sauna, and a lot of ajashis and halabajis, grandpas, are like, they got their balls out and stuff. So I'm used to it. Yeah, my dad did it growing up, okay? I'm used to it. But this is 2025. This is a public gym in a bougie area. I don't expect to see that shit, and I'd rather not look at it, because it's kind of like it's like a solar eclipse. You know it's not good for you. You're not supposed to look at it, but you look anyway. I don't know why guys do that shit. And don't be like, gay. You guys all look at that shit too. I know you do. But anyway, he takes his towel off. I have my phone and my earbuds, and I'm listening to music, and then I feel a tap on the shoulder, which I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck does this guy want? And he's like, oh, do you mind if we turn off the lights? And I'm doing a lot of calculations in my head in a split second. What is this guy doing? It's just gonna lead to more conversation and more whatever his agenda is. But I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine. And I take that opportunity to tell him, like, hey bro, hey man, I'm Korean, so I'm used to seeing that shit. But I know a lot of people, a lot of gym members would be very uncomfortable with you being naked. So I would suggest wearing a towel next time. That's exactly how I said it. And then he gives me this deer in the headlights look, and then processes it, and then like 2 seconds later, I see. That's how he responds. And then I'm expecting him to take that as a cue, as my nice way of saying, bro, I'm uncomfortable, put a fucking towel on. So did he put on a towel? No, he did not put his towel back on. So I don't know, I couldn't tell if he's Asian. He wasn't a fob, fresh off the boat Asian, or maybe he was Hispanic. Maybe he was from Singapore. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt that, you know, he's Asian, maybe he wasn't born here and it's more accepted practice to have your ding dong out. I don't think that was wrong of me to say, right? I'm just being like nice in my mind, because what if there is a dude in there that is super uncomfortable and he's on roids, and then it escalates and there's two butt naked guys fighting in the sauna and gym staff has to. Anyway, in hindsight, I was uncomfortable. You know, it reminds me of back to my Army boot camp days. 11 Bravo, to shout out to any 11 Bravos out there. This was in Fort Benning, Georgia. It's not the summer camp they have these days with stress cards saying, "Drill Sergeant, you're being mean, I need a timeout." They didn't have that shit back in the day, by the way. They fucked you up, they smoked you, and they doubled down on tormenting and pissing you off to the point where some people mentally broke. But anyway, they have public showers in the Army and military, and I'm a grower, not a shower. There's a lot of guys that they're flaunting, flopping around in there for whatever reason. I don't know why. No one had shorts on or underwear or a towel on while they're showering. There's no coverage or stalls or anything. It's totally community shower and everyone can see everything and there's no privacy. And I think I heard a story that if you kept your underwear on, that would just bring more attention to yourself. And then the guys would make fun of you and pile on and torment you if you had a freaking micro penis or whatever. But anyway, I am a grower, not a shower. Ask any Asian guy. I'm not packing much down there when it's flaccid. But I knew at the same time, all right, I can't go into the shower with my towel or shorts on. So what the fuck do I do? You know, they're gonna make fun of me because I might be the only Asian guy they've seen up until that point. So I'm like, all right. This is my game plan. I'm gonna walk into the shower with my towel on and I'm just gonna tug on it a little bit, pull on it just a little bit, just to get a tiny reaction to extend, if you will, but not too much. You go too much and then, you know, if you get an erection going and the wrong guy sees that and they're like, the fuck are you doing? I just thought at the time it was stressful, but it was a fine balance of tugging on it, but not too much, showing that I don't have a tiny Asian dick, and and not getting a full-on erection so that they think I'm gay and they beat the shit out of me. And they go full metal jacket on my ass with a soap party. All right, this is very inappropriate, but if you guys were wondering about my background, yes, I have a blue-collar job. Yes, I was in the military infantry. That is why I curse like a sailor. It's toned down over the years, but I used to be really bad with F-bombs and this and that, and trying to watch my language and stuff. So apologies if I offended to anyone, but thankfully we're moving away slowly but surely from this snowflake DEI environment where everyone's offended and cancel culture. That is one silver lining from Cheeto Mango Man Trump up there. But yeah, that gym interaction, hopefully I don't see that guy again. Hopefully that guy's a trial membership as well. And speaking about DEI and politics, I had my Tesla windshield replaced, and because it was cracked, so I had to drop it off at my local Tesla dealership. If you own a Tesla, you know what I'm talking about. It's very unceremonious, not customer oriented, whether you're purchasing or getting serviced, or just do it on the app and shut the fuck up and get out of here. We don't want to talk to your ass. And so I'm dropping off, I'm going through my Tesla customers, the service app, and you are here and leave your car and get out of here. The app is saying that, and we'll take it from there. So I'm like, as I'm leaving, following the instructions, a Tesla employee comes out and stops. Hey, come over here. It's a white, elderly gentleman, very friendly, nice dude. And he's like, oh, is this Mr. So-and-so? Come in for a sec. I just want to go over your service, and if you had any questions, feel free to ask. And I'm like, oh, thank you, sir. And I'm following him inside, and I joked to him, how very un-Tesla of you, sir. And he gives me a serious look and he responds, there's a lot of un-Tesla things about me, in an exasperated tone. And I'm like laughing so much in my head, trying not to burst out, because you could tell it says a lot if even Tesla employees fucking hate Elon. That's what I gathered. He hates Elon because of his foray into politics. Tesla, I'm sure as you guys know, a lot of Tesla people originally started out, a lot of them, their client base is left-leaning Democratic. And then he went full-on far right, and he alienated his client base. And it was just funny to see that guy was so over this divisiveness, controversy bullshit. And he probably is looking for a new job. He doesn't want to work at Tesla and for the fascist, whatever you call it, company. But I think that's dying down. Have you noticed Elon's not talking about politics anymore? That's all by design, in my opinion. And also, just in case anyone was wondering, who's concerned, typically I'm using autopilot with my Tesla so I can record and talk to you guys. And I trust this shit a lot more than my own driving. I'm a horrible driver. That stereotype is true. Asian people are horrible at driving, except my dad. But I have not gotten into any fender benders, knock on wood, with this car yet. And I trust autopilot and FSD way more than myself because the cameras are monitoring 24/7. They never get tired, they don't lose attention or focus. And because it's an EV, it can stop and move on a dime, turn on a dime. So I trust it with my life. So anyone who talks shit about Tesla saying it's a death trap, those are just all people with Tesla short positions. Those Teslac idiot bears. They're gonna get wrecked in this blow off top. Not to be like a salesman or whatever, but Tesla is by far the best vehicle for the money. And then you're talking about like 40 grand for a Model Y. Are you kidding me? The car gets better over time. What car do you buy that gets better over time instead of getting shittier? It gets automatic updates. My car has better ability, mapping and auto park and visualization and lots of upgrades that when you add it all up, it's an amazing vehicle. And you're talking about you'd rather buy a fucking Toyota or Honda or Volkswagen. I had a coworker at work saying, oh yeah, I just bought a Kia, some Kia EV. And I'm like, hey dude, I appreciate, supporting Korea, but I told him straight up, anyone who buys a non-Tesla EV is a cuckold and is severely misinformed. And he's like, no man, it's way better than Tesla. And I'm like, I'm just shaking my head. Don't let politics influence your purchasing. When did car buying become a statement of your politics? That's the dumbest thing ever. Korea and Japan have high tensions, but I bought Honda. Does that mean I support the Japanese? If you look at a Volkswagen and all that stuff, they are literally descended from Nazis. And yet you're calling Tesla a fascist Nazi company? These people are all idiots, and you guys know who I'm talking about. But yes, get a Tesla. Guys, I'm at work right now. Sorry for the rant, but there's not a whole lot going in the market right now. But just thought I'd change it up. And I didn't even talk about health. I'll talk about more health stuff later. I really need to clean up my diet, and I need advice on like fasting, intermittent fasting, and avoiding microplastics and eating cleaner and this and that. But guys, thanks for listening to me. Another reminder, I'm just another dumbass, but I will see you guys later. All right, peace. Bye.